March Adams Presbyterian School District regular board meeting to order. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Babel, is the meeting properly noticed?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
Yep. Board members Masson and Jeff Babcock are excused. Motion made by Jim, second by Joanne to approve the agenda. Discussion. I'll write when we get to there. I'll mention that. Hearing no discussion, we'll start with Joanne.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
Jeff Presley.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. It passes 7-0. At this time, we'd like to do a recognition of Students of the Month. Kathy's going to give out awards tonight. We're going to start with AFE, and we're going to start with last month's winner first.
It was a DeMarcus came later. Remember, we
All right, that's
had a.
right. Was it Grand March? We'll start with last month.
Mom and Dad are here too. Come on up if you want. You guys can get the pictures up there.
Go on, Mark.
It's not accurate.
No, I raised next. This is Mark. Come here. Mark, come here.
Parents come right up front, get the
Okay, we're
picture.
gonna say a couple nice things about you first, then this is, so give you her certificate. Ice cream. This is Mara Hughes. She is a first grader at Grand Marsh. She is in Mrs. Moore's first grade class. And one of the things, she was the student of the month for the month of January last month, but she couldn't make it in. She's here tonight, even though she had a little bit of a fever today, but now she's feeling much better. So, and excited, so that's great. Mara is an awesome student. She works really hard in all that she does. And as far as being friendly, when you talk about kind, she's the poster child. I mean, she is so nice to other students, and she is so well behaved and handles things, and she encourages others to do the same. And that's what makes her so special. And when it comes to schoolwork, she's always on task doing the right thing, and she follows the 3 B's, our 3 B's down at Grand Marsh: safe, responsible, and respectful. That would be Mara Hughes, our student of the month for January. Student Mara. Shake her hands.
Congratulations on behalf of the Board of Education. Keep doing the good work.
Hold your spot. Get a picture from Mara.
You want to turn around? Maybe open it up? There you go.
Got it. And now go back by the person waving. That's Mrs. Tremont. She's going to give you a 12. Go.
Congratulations.
Picture.
Come on, Mr. Beans. All right, all right. I'm photo bombing already. Ivy Ray, come on up. Ivy Ray. Come on, Ivy. Come on.
Hi, Ivy Ray.
I love when I get 2 students up here like this. It's always great. This is awesome. Come on up here. All right, this is Ivy Ray. She's a 2nd grader in Miss Kennedy's class down at Grand Marsh. And when it comes to her, she again follows our B's. She's awesome as a student. And your teacher has said that she's very excited to nominate Ivy Ray as Student of the Month in 2nd grade. Every day she comes to school ready to learn. She is a positive role model for all students in her class to listen, working hard, and she follows the 3 B's. And anyone who needs help, she usually gives it to, because she tries to be very kind, as I always appreciate. And she exhibits great behavior at Grand Marsh Elementary School. And we are very proud that for the Student of the Month for February from Grand Marsh is Ivy Ray Banks. Ivy Ray, way to go. Take your hand.
On behalf of the school board, we'd like to congratulate you and tell you to keep up the good work.
Good job.
You want to open that up?
Mara, you got your medal. She's got her medal already. Okay. No, not photobombing.
Okay.
Let's go get a book back here.
Okay, March.
No.
All right, AFP.
So maybe Cheryl Frieder is just going to present the
Okay.
award for us.
Mary? Miss Mary.
This is Mary Glancy. I've had the pleasure of knowing her since I had her for summer school and kindergarten. I find that she works very hard. She does what I ask her to do. She's friendly to others, very helpful. It says here that she recently stood up for another student who was being treated unkindly. She left her group of friends at the lunch table because they were being mean and went to sit by the student they were being mean to. So I think that's very, very much like her, to kind of look out for others. And just to be an all-around great young lady that's made a lot of growth this year. Okay? So you get it.
On behalf of the school board, we'd like to say congratulations and keep up the good work, Mary.
Hang on, Mary, ready? See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Middle school.
Come on, Chloe.
Oh, you're embarrassing. Nerve-wracking, isn't it? Did you have a speech ready?
No.
I always tell kids they gotta give a speech, and they always look at me funny. So on behalf of the middle school, we're presenting Chloe Redding as Student of the Month. This is one of those months that I have all this information that I get to read from the teachers, which makes it easy on me, but we can also see that how much she really means to our folks at the middle school. So Mrs. Boulin writes, Chloe is a joy to have in my homeroom and literature class. She's kind, funny, and polite, helps others without being asked. And we have great conversations about literature, and as always have a great quote to offer for our quote of the week on the whiteboard. I want you to share those with me someday. Mr. Curlis writes, Chloe has grown into an extremely well-rounded musician. She can go from being silly to focused on hard working. She does a good job of getting her work completed, tries really hard to do her best in class, and seen such growth from her since 5th grade. I also cannot talk about Chloe without mentioning her caring personality, which is very true. Mr. Glock says, Chloe is a very level-headed young lady, demonstrates respect, responsibility on a consistent basis. Her positive attitude and demeanor is something all students and adults should emulate. And Ms. Mansell says Chloe is the type of student every teacher would love to have in class. She is a mixture of fun, energy, and hard work. She sets attainable goals for herself and doesn't stop working till she reaches them. Her class work always shows extreme effort and goes above the normal expectations. So, without further ado, Chloe Brenning, Student of the Month for the middle school.
You as well, and on behalf of the Board of Education, we'd like to congratulate you and tell you to keep up the good work.
And she sings and has a beautiful voice.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
Mrs.
say, Miss
Johnson.
McCarthy, she will sing
Here, I want
right
you to have
with
those
you. She's
on.
got a gorgeous voice.
Oh.
How you doing?
All right, the high school student of the month for February is Emma Hamilton. Emma was nominated by Miss Harder, and she wrote, Emma's a great leader in class. She helps get the class involved, keeps them motivated. She always comes to class ready to have fun and learn. What I appreciate most about Emma is how she takes initiative to make sure things are running smoothly. When I'm working with another student or teacher at the beginning of class, she doesn't hesitate to start class without me. She gets everyone going in the warm-up so we're not wasting time. It's a gift I appreciate having in a student. You'll also notice Emma, she was in the paper for a recent leadership thing with FFA, Farm Forum. She's an officer for FFA. She's one of the, so now they don't have president, right? So it's a leadership team. So she's a member of the leadership team. But I've heard other teachers describe Emma as like having a student teacher in the classroom. They know they're going to get a mature student that they can trust to make sure things are going, which, again, like Ms. Harder said, we appreciate more than anything. So congratulations on Hamilton.
Thank you.
I'd like to say congratulations and maybe think about education then. Of course. And we know Mom is very proud.
And Emma also is a great piano teacher. I know from experience, my kids are learning well.
At this time, all the award winners, if they'd like to go to the hallway, and Harriet from the paper would like to take their pictures. And family members, if you'd like to stay for the meeting, you may, but if not, you can leave with your child at that time. Except for Lena. While they're taking their pictures, we can do the board recognition, which is, what did you guys, somebody would like to say anything they did this week or this month since the last board meeting? Now is the time.
I would just like to bring up, it's nothing I have done, but on the way to Madison, I was listening to Wisconsin Public Radio, and it talked about poverty in our school districts and food service. And our own Vicki Marcucci was interviewed, and she was on, I was just like, whoa! Because her voice came out and...
You can't close that door.
I can't. No,
It's got to stay open. Thank you.
Yeah, and she said something very wonderful about no student should have to worry about where they get their food in order to learn. So it made me proud to know that Wisconsin Public Radio contacted the authority in our school district, and she presented well.
Thank you. Anybody else?
February 16th, I attended the WIA sectional wrestling. Adam French was host at the high school, and there were more than several high schools represented at this meet or sectional. I was quite impressed with how easily and how fast it took place. I think that Sean should be given thank you, as well as I think Mr. Goody was involved, as well as any other custodians. I was impressed. There was a lot of people there. I'm figuring about 2,500.
There was a lot of people.
Close to it. On the 18th, after the special board meeting, I was going to go to the basketball game, and when I got over there, I noticed there was a few more cars than I expected. And at that night, the band, high school band, under the direction of Rachel Harder, presented the winter concert. And so not only did I have some music, but also saw some basketball. On the 23rd, I was a volunteer for the solo and ensemble. It was a hectic day, 8 to 4, and my job was to be a room monitor. And I thought that Derek Curlis, Brad Randall, Rachel Harder, I guess if anybody else, I probably missed it, were involved, did an excellent job. Thank you.
2 Saturdays ago, I went to the halftime dance show in Crystal Homes. The dance team did a great job, and 5, 6, 7, 8 dance and
And don't forget about our musical coming this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday afternoon.
I have to report a little bit from CISA 5 this month. I think the administration knows and some of the teachers know that CISA 5 set up a licensure hotline now. And you can now go online to CISA, they'll give you a trouble ticket, and within the first 4 days, it started last Monday, we had a meeting on Thursday, we already had helped 41 people that had licensure questions within the district. well, not our district, but then our CISA 5 region. We also have people already calling from other CISAs to ask questions about licensures, including all the way up to superintendents. And they helped one person in one of our districts. They've been waiting 6 months for something from DPI. We answered it within an hour and a half off the DPI website. Our average response time has been less than 2 hours. And the first thing out of our board's mouth was, well, how much is costing us and how much is it costing the district? DPI has actually said they will fund us to answer their questions. And they can't, and then of course a whole bunch of CISAs are now mad that we're getting this funding because nobody else thought of this idea on how to do this, but nobody else also has Jeremy Beal, who is the head of our, and he's been thinking of things like this to do to help our districts. And I don't think, he's shaking his head, he knows how important this licensure stuff is and how you're not getting answers out of DPI right now. And they actually said they're probably going to fund the first 3 that set this service up for them. So they're going to start funding us. But we're averaging 10 to 15 calls a day. And like I said, we're answering within an hour to an hour and a half. And a lot of stuff is coming right off their website because they have that pathway and stuff. And we're helping a lot of people. I think that should be recognized that our CISA is going above and beyond just for our districts. We also talked about last year, because of some of the services, we had quite a how do I say it? We made more money than we thought for a nonprofit, because CISAs are a nonprofit. We're going to try to scale that back and maybe hopefully rebate some of the schools if we continue to have more customers. Some of the things that are bringing in us more revenue is the Portage Project. We run worldwide. We got it like in 50 different languages now. Things like that people are still using the Portage product. That started in 1968. We just revamped the whole Portage Project workbook. So that's really going strong right now. But Jeremy's also helping us with our superintendent search that has just recently started. So another thing about CISA 5 is their cost is half of what the Wisconsin School Board Association charges. And that's a great service for districts and smaller districts like us. That there's a big price tag that goes along with a superintendent search, and a lot of people don't know that. So I think we should, even though tonight we talked about not using their services on a couple things, the things that we actually do their services for, they're giving us a real good service, and I believe they are. So that's kind of an update from CISA 5. Any other board stuff? With that, we'll move on to Holly, our new student representative.
In Grand March, the music concert is March 28th at 6:30 p.m. in the Fine Arts Center. 4th grade visited the Capitol in Madison March 7th. Spring Picture Day is March 14th with Life Touch. AFE Spring Fundraiser is underway. Tuesday the 19th is Picture Day. March 21st is the 1st and 2nd grade concert at 7 p.m. in the Fine Arts Center. Monday, March 25th begins the mentoring partnership with Gunderson Hospitals. April 4th, 4K Roundup is starting at 3:30 and is at AFE. AF Middle School. Tuesday, March 12th, a group of middle school students will attend the Math 24 and Math Maniac Challenge in Wild Rose. Wednesday, March 13th, middle school students will attend Wellness Day presentations supported by community guest speakers. These presentations are part of our response to feedback from our student focus group. The purpose of this event is to improve the health, well-being, and educational success for all students through self-awareness and recognition. March 14th, 6th grade band members will be participating in solo and ensemble at AFMS from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Thursday, March 14th, math students will participate in a worldwide pie competition. Monday, March 18th, spring sports begin. Thursday, March 21st, Wickedy students visit UW-Madison to discuss their online learning studies with students throughout the state. April 3rd, Realty Day for 8th grade students. Through collaborative efforts between the schools and community partnerships, students will be given the opportunity to experience the financial impact of situations that can happen in real life. March 14th through the 16th, AFHS musical Cinderella will be presented in the Fine Arts Center. Tickets are available. On March 4th through the 6th, 11 AFH students competed at the DECA State Competition. They brought home a total of 18 medals and trophies. We also had 4 national competition qualifiers. Congratulations to the DECA program. Mariah Hendrickson, Anna Beaver, Ashley Jenkins, Sarah Grothius, Abby Harrison, Brady Babel, and Emily Dalkey all got medals, and 3 were national qualifiers. This month, spring sports begin. Even with the blanket of snow, track has started, and girls soccer, baseball, and softball will be starting soon. March 14th, AFHS is hosting a wellness conference for our students. National speaker Jeff Yelden will present to all students, and 2 breakout sessions will follow that. Students will choose topics that are of interest to them. March 31st through April 1st, several freshman students will take part in the reward trip to Madison for completing the 30-day challenge. March 29th, sophomore students will have the opportunity to visit our local mid-state campus and participate with instructors to learn more about technical college opportunities available on the Adams campus and at the other mid-state campus. Winter sports seasons have come to an end. Several AFH students earned all conference honors, and in powerlifting, many completed at the state level. March 10th, Student Council hosted its 64th biannual Senior Citizen Dinner at the Adams Village. Peter Betcher was selected as WASC Region 6 Advisor of the Year. AFHS Student Council was selected as the 2020 host school for the WASC State Conference to be held at UW-Madison.
Thank you, Alan. Consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved. I'll second.
Would that do, Jim?
Yes.
Motion made by Joanne, second by Jim for the consent agenda. The minutes, we've already approved February 11th, correct, Jim?
No.
Okay, we're going to add February 18th and March 6th minutes also. So they're in your packet, they just were noted. Along with that, we'll have 2 hirees, correct?
We have 1 new hire
1 new hire.
and 1 continuing contract.
New hire is Adam Novolinski for a middle school teacher, and Alyssa Maloney, which is under the AWARE grant. We have a couple of resignations and a retiree. Stephanie Kenny, 2nd grade at Grand Marsh, will have tendered a resignation letter. Sari Osby is tendered for retirement, and Sasha Ripley, a high school science teacher. These will all be at the end of the school year. And Peggy Willis, a paraprofessional at AFP.
And Peggy Willis is also retirement
That's also retirement.
And we also have Lauren Young at the high school as our social worker for resignation.
Yes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll start this vote with Jim.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. It passes 7-0. Policy committee, Kathy.
Policy and Curriculum Committee met at 5 p.m. and on behalf of the Policy and Curriculum Committee, I move to approve the second readings of the following policy. Policy 2131, educational outcome goals and expectations. Policy 2270, religion in the curriculum. Policy 2271, early college credit program. Policy 2271.01, start college now program. Policy 2412, homebound instruction program. Policy 2461, recording of IEP team meetings. Policy 3120, employment of professional staff. Policy 3120.04, employment of substitutes. Policy 3139 and 4139 on staff discipline. Policy 3230, conflict of interest. Policy 4230, conflict of interest as well. There was a deletion of policy 4160, controlled substance and alcohol policy for employees that transport students. Policy 4440, job-related expenses. And policy 5200, attendance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ron? Motion made by Kathy, second by Ron. In our notes, there are policies 1 through 15 for a second reading. That's what we're being approved at tonight, so I don't have to reread those. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll start this vote with Lena.
Yes.
Yes.
Where's that awful beat there? Kathy?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And my vote is yes, it passes 7-0.
We went on to do the first readings of the following policies. Policy 5512, use of tobacco or nicotine by students. Policy 5516, student hazing. Policy 5530, drug prevention. And policy 5540, the schools and governments agencies.
So Kathy, you got through 1 through 4 then, right?
Correct.
Anything else, Kathy?
We adjourned at 5:42.
Thank you. Finance Committee, Joanne.
Okay, Finance Committee met at 6 o'clock. And on behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to approve general fund checks number 80089 through 80271 and ACH checks number 900195 through 900220 and 2430 through 2453, totaling $1,979,713.71, and activity fund checks number 30584 through 30616, and ACH check number 1125, totaling $33,607.52 for the month of February.
I will second that.
Thank you, Jim. Motion made by Joanne, seconded by Jim to approve general fund checks number 80089 through 80271, and ACH checks number 900195 through 900220, and 2430 through 2453, totaling $1,979,713.71, and activity fund checks number 30584 through 30616, and ACH checks number 1125, totaling $33,607.52 for the month of February. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll start with Kathy.
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
And my vote is yes, it passes 7-0.
Okay, next on the agenda was the Adams Friendship Elementary Building heating proposal. And on behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to approve the heating proposal for the Adams Friendship Elementary Building as forwarded from the Finance Committee, which would be to go ahead with the bid from Ron's Refrigeration for the boilers, not to exceed $172,000.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Joanne, second by Jim, to approve Ron's Refrigeration's bid for the boiler system at AFD for $172,000, not to exceed $172,000. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll start this vote with Ron.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
And my vote is yes, it passes 7-0.
Okay, and next on the agenda was the audit bid proposals. And on behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to contract with Johnson Block and Company for the 2018-2019 audit with the option of a contract extension for 2 additional years at a cost of $16,200, $16,700, and $17,200 respectively, and membership audits not to exceed $3,000 per year.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made by Joanne, second by Jim, to approve a contract with Johnson Block and Company for the 2018-2019 audit with the option for a contract extension for 2 additional years at the cost of $16,200, $16,700, and $17,200 respectively, and a membership audits not to exceed $3,000 per year as recommended by the Finance Committee. Discussion. Go ahead.
What's a membership audit?
The membership audit is when they come in and we have a third Friday count and a January 2nd count.
Oh, okay.
And that's our membership. We don't have one coming this year. We were not selected.
Okay.
Is there any more questions, comments? With that, we will start this vote with Jeff.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Kathy. Kathy.
Yes.
Ron.
Is that what?
Ron, you're so a yes. And Rick, it's 7-0. All right.
Okay. And lastly was the 2019-2020 staffing proposal that was presented by the administration team.
Okay. Is there any questions on that? We had quite a presentation during that committee, lots of questions. If anybody needs more questions answered or has some ideas, please talk to Mr. Babel or Barbara, or any of the leadership teams. They're going to hold some listening sessions and some other things with parents, so it'll be a busy month for them, but I'm sure they'll answer your questions as quickly as they can. Anything else on that matter? Anything else, Stuart?
Nope, that was all. We adjourned at 6:49.
Thank you. Class of 2019 scholarship. I don't really know how this got on there. I'm sure Jim put it on there to remind me, but we usually all donate $20 to the scholarship fund, and Jim donates $20, and it's a $200 scholarship for the scholarship committee. If you guys could give it to Jim by April 5th, I think that was on the letter, right?
Yeah, I'd prefer to Mrs. McMahon.
Mr. Stacy, that would be great. Moving on to that, review of the board goals.
In front of the board are the placards in which we set our goals at the beginning of the year. And so this is an opportunity for the board to run through these quick. And I should say quick, but to run through these briefly. And if a discussion is needed, we can have that. At the conclusion of this meeting, I was able to find a reflection piece that the board can then take with them and just analyze. One of our questions when we started this year was, as a board, we need to reflect on what we're doing to improve. So we have that form, and it'll be similar to the district administrator evaluation, in which fill it out, and then submit those to Mrs. McManus, and she'll compile them. And then in April, we can have a more robust discussion about how we perform as a board.
So are you gonna hand that out today, or just gonna send it out by?
We'll have it at the conclusion of the meeting.
Okay.
I think, on behalf of just my own opinion, when we have a new superintendent, I would like to revisit our school board goals and update them at that time, revisit them, see if we need to expand it to include more strategic planning with community, so that we also help plan more. These are good goals, and I think they're attainable, but I think we could do better.
Anyone else? I'll put that in the first retreat with the new superintendent.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, moving on. District salary and wages for 2019-2020.
So an overview is that first document under public content, and this is very similar to the document that the negotiations committee reviewed last Wednesday, and then they went through the specifics. But to begin with, the consumer price index was 2.44% for last year, and traditionally that is what the district has used as a gauge as far as if we can improve salaries and wages, and we use that number. Couple that with how the district has made it a priority to try and recruit and retain staff. So those two overriding influences go down through. With the support staff, the proposal to the negotiations that they are then forwarding also is a 40 cent per hour increase. Thank you. I'd like to state that again. Per hour increase, which is more than the 2.44%. It ends up being 2.53%. And the 244 would have been 39 cents. So we just put it up to 40. The confidential staff proposal is a 2.44% package increase with adjustments for new duties that have been assigned. Managerial staff, same thing, 244, evenly distributed among those members. The administrative staff is different because if the board recalls, we have altered, we've reduced one of our assistant principal positions from 260 down to 210. So that total package ends up only being 1.53% of those dollars, but the 2.44% is added to all the remaining members. And then also the assistant principals that we have, I would like to get those at a uniform standard. They're all assistant principals, they're all equally valuable to the district, and having those at that level. And then finally, the professional staff is a 2.60 package increase. And that some of the key points with that is that it raises our base salary from $36,500 up to $38,000. It's 30. Is that correct? $36,500. Yes. Remember when I first started a year and a half ago, that number was down to 34,500. So in the past 2 years, the board has made a tremendous dedication to raising that base salary, and this continues. And it's our belief that at $38,000, the district should be able to compete for a couple of years and then maybe revisit that number. But 38 puts us with everybody. So that's a significant accomplishment. Also, at the top of the salary, the minimum being $541. You'll notice as you look through, if you go through the individuals, one of the things that we've tried to capture is over these past 3 salaries that we've worked is districts, teaching staff, prior to Act 10, used to have a salary schedule, and went by many names, but the name that I'm used to calling the salary schedule. And that is where a teacher could start first year, and they could plot out where they would be in year 10. And it was very valuable for that person when they're starting to use their budget. So the adjustments that we've made in these past 3 is getting the district set up so they can behave as if it were a salary schedule, but yet not have that long-term commitment that would then be a risk for the long-term financial safety of the district. And what we've done is we've taken the odd numbers off the end, so now it's either a multiple of 1,000 or 500. That really allows the district next year to behave more like a salary structure, like a salary schedule. So that's the plan, and after next year, we really should be in a good position to continue that practice, tying it back to the recruitment and the retaining of our staff. And if the negotiations has any other comments they can share, or if there are other questions, I'd be glad to attempt to answer.
Need a motion?
Move to approve.
One second.
Motion made by Jeff, second by Glenna, to approve the district salary and wages for 2019-2020 as presented. Discussion. If any more?
There's
Go ahead.
I missed something in, where it has administrators' positions. I've been at the principal, high school, middle school principal, assistant principal, middle school, elementary principal, assistant principal, elementary, there's no associate high school.
Correct, that job is currently open.
So, okay.
So we'll have to wait until that person is selected and then work on a salary at that point. So what we're leaving ourselves, instead of locking it in, let's say the person comes in with 0 experience. What we've done with other hires is keep that number lower, and then after a year, if that person has proven themselves, then we bring it up to that level. So that's the reason it can't be approved, because we don't even have the person to approve it.
But doesn't that kind of throw it off a little bit?
No, that's been factored into it.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll start with Joanne.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I vote yes. Passes 7-0. Support staff handbook.
Once again, a yearly exercise. This will take effect on July 1st, 2019. There is one significant alteration that runs throughout the handbooks. Those of us on the policy committee have encountered several times how policies are continually changing. But there are times where the handbook hasn't changed right along with it. And there are some times where those policies change a couple of times in 1 year. So in an effort to eliminate that potential conflict between policy and handbook, what I'm proposing here, with the help of the administrative team that worked with me on this, is to, for example, if you go down to page 2, where employee code of conduct, it supports staff ethics. So a little bit further down, please.
I'm sorry, where?
Pass table of contents. And right there, hold. Beautiful. So the employee code of conduct is not the language that is used in our policy. Our policy does use the language of support and ethics. So there's a brief explanation, but all of that language that is struck through will be eliminated, because that potentially, if we change the policy, we'd have to come back, change the handbook, and keep up.
So it needs to scroll to the end of the page. So
If you get to the bottom of 2,
there.
so now it will read support staff ethics, a quick summary, and then please refer to policy 4210. All of our policies online at our website. So it really condenses the handbook so that it's, more user-friendly. That is the primary change. There's a new district compliance officer, so that's a technical change. But all the changes are there, but if we could get to page 8, there is one minor alteration. It's more of a cleaning up an ambiguity. So we get to page 8, we see classification schedule adjustments. So that first line I'm suggesting that we eliminate, so that what is happening is if for example in the custodian realm, if a building lead is absent, the person who comes in and substitutes for that building lead then would get an additional 75 cents with that language. But what I'm stating is, but that building lead is the person who has to order supplies, who schedules things, and the person doing that work isn't doing that. They're keeping, they're doing the job and that's fine, but the reason for the extra money in the lead is all of the planning and the responsibility. So there was some ambiguity there, and to help clear it up a little bit more, if you look at number 2, an employee who takes, the green language is new, the permanent position, then you get that down. There was some looseness to how it was written, and I hope hopefully this then tightens that up. And the rest of it are similar, as I stated earlier, with just direct reference to policies. And significantly, so here's a great example. If we can get to page 15, the bottom of it. You'll see that was the electronic communication technology. That isn't ever changing, in which even our policy is struggling to keep up with how do we put policy around that to help protect our students and their staff. So instead of trying to change and keep up, we just have direct references to the policies. As they change, the handbook changes along with them. And we did retain the email just because that is such a prevalent use. All of our staff relies on that a lot. And that summarizes the change.
I think the board and the public also need to know that he had a listening session with support staff and professional staff, correct? To ask them what they would like to see handbook changes and ideas. And as we have done that over the years, that less and less people have shown up, but we still have some people that were interested this year. So I hope we continue that, because sometimes we do miss stuff in our handbook that may change, just like our policies change. So a lot of districts just now go ahead and go, this is the handbook, and live by it. I think we do a nice job by asking people what they'd like to see in it. So I'll need a motion to approve the support staff handbook.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ron, I got you. First made by Joanne, second by Ron, to recommend to approve the 2019-2020 support staff handbook as presented. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll start with Jim.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
And my voice passes 7-0. Professional staff handbook.
Very similar approach as far as trying to eliminate potential language that would conflict with policy. The one item that I think that doesn't fit into that, and I believe, if memory serves, it's page 14. Let me double check that before anybody gets there and I can change my answer. Yes, page 14, if we go under working conditions and work hours. The word scheduled is added there. just in humor, well, we've had some instances where scheduled school days didn't occur this school year. 9 or so, couple 2 hours late. So I believe with the scheduled student days, that gives us better language to abide by. And the rest of the changes are very similar to the sports staff handbook, in which we're just trying to eliminate that potential of conflicting language between handbook and policy.
Anything else, Jim?
There is one more thing. If we could get to the bottom of page 23, a very significant part of our handbook is the extracurricular contracts and duties. So you'll see that the base salary, that has just been approved minutes ago, will be $38,000. And the percentage of the base is how we figure out what those duties are assigned. So here's a number that's important. 2.44 was the CPI. But that raise in that base salary ended up with these numbers increasing those salaries 4.11%. I recommend keeping this language as it is, because then it grows as the base grows, or adjusts as the base adjusts, and it doesn't lend itself to a yearly discussion of one being 8 and the other one being 6.5. They just grow along with that base salary, which is reflective of the CPI. And, unless you have another question, at the bottom, just that there's a caveat at the bottom of the miscellaneous positions. If there's an event that goes incredibly long, the athletic director and the district administrator can alter those amounts to reflect the time.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will these handbooks be online?
Yes.
Will we be able to connect the policy so that they can just click on it and go to the policy?
To hyperlink the policy, wouldn't that be a fun thing to do when we get all that extra time? Fantastic suggestion. I believe I will be working on that myself. Response from Mrs. McNeil. Hyperlink.
I would love to do that. I just think, again, more user-friendly, somebody's looking, and it's
Wonderful
right below.
suggestion.
Good, thank you. It's
Are
okay.
there any other wonderful moves for Ms. McManus you'd like to? With that, is there a motion?
I'll second.
Joanne? And Jim? Motion made by Joanne, seconded by Jim to recommend to approve the 2019-2020 professional staff handbook as presented. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll start this one. Lana?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And my vote is yes, it passes 7-0. With that, consideration adjournment closed session on section 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which a governmental body has the jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, to wit, the district administrator's evaluation. Is there a motion? Jim? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Joanne? Discussion? Hearing none, we'll start this vote with Kathy.
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
My vote is yes, 7-0, 5 minutes.